Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and tonight we're going to jump right into this boxing talk. So, say what's up in the chat room, and we'll get started here shortly. All right. So, we here in Cincinnati, Ohio, USA, and we're going to talk some boxing tonight. Um, so, just going to talk about a few different things that are circulating right now. Um, Boots Ennis to pull up at Erickson Lubin versus Virgil Ortiz fight. Will Boots Ennis, in your opinion, will he get the opportunity to step in the ring after the fight? After the Erickson Lubin versus Virgil Ortiz fight, do you think Boots Ennis will get in the ring after the fight? Also, who do you think is going to win this fight? When you look at the style matchup, I want to know who you think is going to win that fight. Also, as you enter in, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. As you enter on YouTube, hit thumbs up on YouTube. So, um, Erickson Lubin is one of those guys. He's a tough guy for sure. You know what I'm saying? He shows a true warrior spirit. Um, in my opinion, he'll fight any of these guys out here. So he doesn't have that pick and choose mentality or protect my O. I think he wants all the smoke with these fighters out here. Um, we saw Erickson Lubin go to war with Sebastian Fundora in a very tough fight, in which I believe he dropped Sebastian Fundora first in that war that they had. Um, I just like that kind of mentality of a fighter. The Erickson Lubins, you know, they're not looking to cherry pick or try to maneuver around certain opponents. They're going to fight whoever is out there. They're going to call them out, or whoever is put in front of them. They're not going to make any excuses. Um, Now, Virgil Ortiz, I look at it both ways that neither guy is going to back down from the other. So definitely Virgil Ortiz. I think he'll fight anybody as well. So it's going to be a good, interesting matchup, style matchup. And I'm gonna give this definitely a 50-50. Um, I don't look at it like it's going to just be an easy walkthrough for Virgil Ortiz. He's not going to just have his way. And if the roles are reversed, Erickson Lubin, he won't just have his way either. I think it's going to be one of those fights to where, either side is going to have to step up a little more than the other in order to secure this victory. Um, so, being that it is a 50-50, at least in my opinion, Boots Ennis uh, is said to be fighting the winner of this fight. So, what do y'all think about that? Boots Ennis fighting the winner of Erickson Lubin versus Virgil Ortiz. Just hypothetically speaking, because this is what we're hoping is going to happen, and this is what is being talked about. Uh, so let's just say we don't know who's going to win this fight, right? So Boots Ennis versus Erickson Lubin, Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. If you just had to hypothetically speak on it, do you think Boots Ennis beats both of those guys? Let me know in the chat what you think. Let me know your prediction or your opinions and what y'all feel. Um, and also, let me know about Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. Because Sam Noakes was seen in an interview saying that he will knock out Abdullah Mason. So, do you think that that's a good possibility of happening? Will he knock out Abdullah Mason? Because I'm seeing it personally, I'm seeing it the other way around. I feel like Abdullah Mason will knock out Sam Noakes. But it is boxing, and you just never really know until the fight is here and happens. Shout out to Lawrence Industries Gaming. Thanks for stopping through. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, please, in YouTube, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button, please, and share this link to different people. Lawrence Industries Gaming, you said, I'm here for a couple of minutes just to leave you a like and give you a view. Just kind of browsing around, seeing what people like to watch. Okay, I appreciate you at least stopping by. I really do. Um, let's also talk about what Alicia Baumgartner had to say on Fight Hype. Um, Alicia Baumgartner, she was saying that she got skills, and skills are what matters at the end of the day. I'm paraphrasing. Um, She said if Clarissa can call out an MMA fighter at 147 pounds as if she's willing to go down in weight, then it should be no difference to make the same transition and concessions to meet Alicia Baumgartner at 147 as well. So what do y'all feel about that? Alicia Baumgartner versus Clarissa T-Rex Shields at 147 pounds. If that fight happens. Um, that would be something to see for sure. Now, I don't think it should be something that she should rush to. I think she should fight the other top two people like Shadasia Green and DAZN, and then maybe after those fights, if she chooses to go down to 147, then fight Alicia Baumgartner then. I wouldn't say I would want for her to go to 147 and then try to go back up and weight again, then to fight Green and DAZN. I think she should fight them now while she's at her heavier weight. And then after she fights those two, consider Alicia Baumgartner at 147. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Also, top-ranked fighter Richard Torres calls out Moses Ntuma. But he also said in his interview that him versus Kabiel would be a good fight because they both would put pressure on one another. So let me know what y'all think. If we saw Kabiel versus Richard Torres, what would be your predictions? Let me know in the comments, in the chat. Also, do you think that Moses Ntuma, that Richard Torres could be a banana peel for Moses Ntuma? Or do you just feel like look at Moses Ntuma in a certain light, that he would just somehow he's going to make a way to win, or it would be a fairly easy win? I just want to know y'all opinion, what you think in the chat. Both guys have no losses, and I want to say they both had the same amount of wins. So that could possibly happen. And if you see just a slight delay here and there, it's just it's just probably just my internet, unfortunately. I also want to know y'all opinion. Is Lamont Roach Jr. versus Pitbull Cruz, is that a 50-50 fight? What's your opinion? Some may say that Lamont Roach is better fundamentally all the way around to where he'll win based on his good counter punching. He does fight in the phone booth in spurts. It appears he can take a hit from what we saw in the Tank Davis fight. He can take a hit. But will the pressure of Pitbull Cruz be an issue for Lamont Roach Jr.? I definitely like the style matchup of these two guys. Um, Also, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is on shaky grounds. Um, I don't want to just sit here and say that it's not going to happen indefinitely, but um, you just see different things when you look around that possibly Jake Paul is looking for a backup opponent, this, that, and the other. Now the situation, whatever occurred, I don't know all the details on it, but from what I'm hearing, uh, it's supposed to be some bogus stuff that a female is alleging on Tank Davis, and that the charges will not stand. So I just wonder how that's gonna how it's all gonna pan out, you know. But just say for instance that Tank doesn't fight. If Tank doesn't fight Jake Paul, do you think Jake Paul is going to get a backup opponent to make the card still happen? And if so, who would be that filler? Who's going to step in? Because truthfully, it's an exhibition for real. If we look at it for what it is, so a backup opponent shouldn't be very hard to find. I just want to know your opinion. Who you think would be a backup opponent um, if it ends up that Tank Davis doesn't fight Jake Paul? Hey, what's good, Mike Ware? What's good? Um, Also, I want to know what you feel about David Benavidez versus Anthony Yardy. Because after I saw the performance of Joshua Buatsi this weekend versus Parker, Joshua Buatsi, he's okay, but I'm not necessarily blown away from him. And I really don't see the reason why Anthony Yardy has not fought him, because I feel like Anthony Yardy would beat Joshua Buatsi. I don't think Joshua Buatsi would even contend with these guys like David Benavidez, Anthony Yardy, Dmitry Bivol, or Peterviev. I think he gets smoked by all those guys. In my opinion. Um, so just let me know what you think about that. I hear that, Mike. Where you are down south, Texas, you could definitely afford to jump on that grill, man. You said David should win. Yardy has a chance. He will. He went blow for blow with some big punchers. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. You know, the punchers that he went blow for blow, like Peterviev and different guys. Although I don't really know about Lyndon Arthur. I think he just won a fight this weekend. But the Lyndon Arthur fight, I felt like Yardy should have won it a lot easier, a lot more convincingly. But but it is what it is. I already know Mike Ware. I know you're from Ohio. You're from Cleveland, and you got family in Cincinnati down here. I know that, but I know you're not. I know you're residing in Texas. Um, hey Jack, what's going on? What's going on, mate? What's going on over there in on your side of the pond over there? Adam, you said Clarissa and her team got a new name, Dumb and Dumber. Well, what do you feel, Adam, about that though? You know, Alicia Baumgartner called her out and said, "Hey, if she'll fight me at 147, we have a fight." And she's saying basically, if Clarissa can call out an MMA fighter at 147, why don't she fight her at 147? Maybe 154 if Alicia is willing to go up to 154. Mike Ware, you said the fight will move on to December. We know not Garcia. I can't call it. Yeah, and I appreciate you following through, man, for sure, Jack. Uh, that'll be cool, Jack. Just let me know, man. Just let me know. Show you around some of the boxing monuments and stuff here in the city of Cincinnati. The Ezra Charles mural, Ezra Charles, the, the 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 park down there with his statue. Um, the streets named after legend Tony Tubbs here in Cincinnati. Um, yeah, we have quite a bit of history here in the city of Cincinnati. Also, the hometown of the late great Aaron Pryor Sr. Mike, where you said Clarissa versus Alicia ain't happening. It probably won't, most likely, but I think that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Alicia is capping. Alicia also said in front of Shaquille O'Neal in an interview about a year ago that she wants to fight with Clarissa Shields. So I don't know. We'll see. Because a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't necessarily walk the walk. They don't actually make sure that it gets done through, pen and paper or whatever to get everything solidified or whatever. But it's definitely in the atmosphere, and Alicia put it out there in the atmosphere. So, and if Clarissa hears that, she's normally going to bite the bait every time. So we'll see what the response of Clarissa is, and maybe she'll sit down with her people and consider making it happen. So what do you think, Jack Lowney? What do you think about David Benavidez versus Anthony Yardy? What would be your prediction? Also, Jack, what's your prediction? Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach Jr. Do you see that as a 50-50 fight? What's your opinion? Also, Jack, Sam Noakes versus Abdullah Mason. What's your prediction? And why? Why do you feel that way? Let me know. Uh, Jack, you said David Benavidez for the win. Yeah, man. So do you think David Benavidez will actually stop Anthony Yardy though? Is he gonna stop him within the distance or a decision win? You said Benavidez either late stoppage or points. Yeah, man. I agree, man. I agree. Late stoppage or point. Cause I think the stoppage would come if it goes in the championship rounds. I think Anthony Yardy's gonna get kind of fatigue and gas out because of all the dense muscle and all the bulk. I think late rounds are not going to be his best friend. And usually late in fights, that's when Benavidez starts to come on even stronger. So I think at the mid to later rounds, he's going to start to slow down some, and I think that um, David Benavidez is going to be full throttle. Uh, Jack, you said Pitbull versus Lamont, tough one to call. Yeah, I like that. I agree. I like that style matchup, man. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight, or even a 55-45. Lamont Roach, I edge him a little bit more, but you can't count out Pitbull because I feel like so far nobody has been able to penetrate the chin of Pitbull Cruz. It's hard to even hit his chin. Um, and he's fought some punchers. Pitbull has fought some punchers and some guys like Rolly Romero and Tank Davis and them to where we've seen his chin be tested. Lamont Roach, we only can go based on his last performance with Tank Davis because other guys he's fought, not so much, like punchers on that type of level. So this is going to be an interesting fight for sure. Jack, you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Kovalev stop Yardy? Oh man, that's a good question. I'm trying to remember. Uh, Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Does anybody else in the chat know? Did did Kovalev stop Anthony Yardy? You said if Kovalev did stop Yardy, then I would strongly back Benavidez to get the stoppage. Mike, you said Pitbull versus Roach. I don't know. Is Roach better than we thought? One fight exception. Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see for sure. Um, and Mike, where you said Kovalev knocked out Yardy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that fight. I think I've seen it, but it's been so long. I know Baterviev knocked out or stopped. He stopped TKO'd or stopped Anthony Yardy. Um, so yeah, we're gonna see how it all pans out. Now, what about Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes? I mean, I've known people to have certain questions about Abdullah Mason, about how he's going to take a big. We'll see how Abdullah Mason takes his punches. This will be a good test for Abdullah Mason. Jack, you said I still believe the highest IQ boxer in that division is Shakur Stevenson. Yeah. Now the question is too. Now speaking of Shakur, since you brought him up, is he going to be going to 140? Because then you're going to have Frank Martin fighting Rancis Bartholomew at 140. So it would be good to see Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson fight at 140. Um, it would be something to see Tio Lopez versus Shakur, although they both kind of. I think Tio more so, but Shakur a lot too. They both talk about who they want to fight, but then is it not happening because people are ducking these guys, or these guys are just clout chasing and saying they want fights, knowing that they feel in the back of their minds they won't actually even fight these guys. Um, let me know what Joe did that interview to Fimo Lopez and said that he sees the leaks in the game of Shakur Stevenson, Tefimo claims that he would be the one to exploit and expose the gaps that he sees in the fine lining of Shakur Stevenson. But then again, this is Tefimo we're talking about. He's an inconsistent fighter. He really does great when he's having certain performances. He's fighting like at an elite level, but then other times you see him fight and you're like, he looks like a whole different person. Jack, you said, excuse me, I know he hasn't fought the best caliber opposition as of yet, but I think he beat anyone in that division on points. Okay, okay. I definitely get where you're coming from, mate. Um, so what about you said T.O. might be the most difficult for Shakur style wise, but I still think he could beat him. Okay, man. I can understand that. I can understand that perspective. Um, Jack, you said I would back Shakur to beat Javante on points decision. Oh man, I don't know, man. It just comes off, and maybe I'm overreaching or overthinking, but I think it's a lot of personal demons and issues with Tank Davis, and I think we're starting to kind of see it through a lot of things that are coming up. Um, I would hope that next year the fight could happen, but Tank Davis would have to be in the right state of mind. And right now, I'm just not so sure, man. He seems to be going through some things, and that could prevent uh, Davis versus Shakur Stevenson from happening. But me personally, there is that possibility that Shakur could scathe away on points, but I just felt like Tank Davis is going to catch him at some point, just because Tank Davis is not going to really fear his punching power. At least with Lamont Roach, he had respectable power to make Tank being being somewhat carefree or whatever. I think with Shakur Stevenson, I think Tank is going to take more chances. And we saw with Zapata. Zapata had some good moments, and normally they were when he was able to pressure and get Shakur Stevenson against the ropes. Jack, you said I'm so disappointed that he's fighting Paul. Well, we don't know for sure. It could switch up, bro. Um, we don't know because of the situation that happened. Um, is that going to be preventing that fight from happening now? Um, I don't want to just say it's not confirmed, but it may not be Tank. It might not be a Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. It could be another opponent versus Jake Paul potentially. When we get off the live, I'll send you some information on stuff that's been going on lately. Jack, you said another question that wait is Davis and Paul actually fighting at as the weight difference is immense.